All right, boys. Every year, about end of July, beginning of August,
Hey, can you hand me one of those beverages?
there's a little town in South Dakota called Sturgis. There's also one in Kentucky, but we're not talking about that one.
Been there.
We're talking about Sturgis, South Dakota, which I've been to Sturgis, but it was like 3 weeks before the Sturgis Rally. A little small town, quiet town. But my TikTok has been full of Sturgis Rally stuff. And I guess the first thing of it is, like, my dream of owning a motorcycle was set back a little bit with the 4th. It's still on the CapEx request at the yearly budget planning meeting with my wife. But first off, because it's a two-parter here. Because one of my bucket list items is I want to ride to Sturgis. I don't want a trailer out there. I want to ride. Like, I want to make it. Like, I want to do it.
Get on your bikes and ride.
That's exactly right. And so it's a two-parter because the first one is about the Sturgis Rally. Looks great. Would you guys be interested in it? Like, exciting times. But on TikTok, I see all that stuff. But I caught a clip of, and I am not saying this disparagingly. I'm not saying it any way to upset anybody to where I'm doing it. I'm just reporting what I saw in the video. There was some Hell's Angels going across the road to these two guys that have started a growth on TikTok that are like the twin brother outlaws that were actively on like TikTok, like downtrodding the 1%er clubs. Talking Hell's Angels, Outlaws, Mongols, like all those that, you know, if I left any out, I apologize. I don't want to upset anybody. We got a large listening group. So I was like, I'm confused by this TikTok. So then I come to dig in and find out that there's these two brothers, they're twins. They look identical, that call themselves like the Twin Outlaws or something like that. And so I get onto their TikTok and I start doing a little research. And they are legitimately like, you know, the Hell's Angels, like, you know, those guys, like all that other stuff. Stuff that I don't think you would want to be saying. But they're at this bike rally. So to connect this TikTok, because it came through my Sturgis Rally algorithm, these Hell's Angels guys were walking across the street to these two. And it kind of escalated a situation.
They run like little bitches.
Well, cops were there, got involved. Supposedly one of the Twin Outlaws pulled their gun, as in, like, if you're going to come any further. Yeah, that's those guys.
Twin Outlaw Brotherhood.
Yeah, Twin Outlaw Brotherhood. And so it's just kind of one of those deals. First off, like, that's a big, like, you're gonna
Look at those two.
you need to go check out their TikTok because it's wild.
Two freaking cock smokes.
But anyways, it's a big, like, around and find out situation because I don't think you would want to say that. But
The Twin Outlaw Brotherhood.
yeah,
Bet they go home every night and share their mom's tit.
probably.
I have had
I
have had a personal experience with the Hell's Angels at the Sturgis, Kentucky rally.
Do they do the little Sturgis Rally anymore?
They used to. What do you
we
mean?
went down to town the other day to Evansville and seen everybody's like, man, it must be Sturgis weekend or something because everybody's riding back and camping.
It's usually the same weekend as Strassenfest and Zor. So I imagine
Same weekend as the boogie anyway. So it's like it's end of July, normally not 1st of August.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know when it was. I've been there. I've been to the rally before, and it was a decent rally. Blackstone Cherry, a lot of good entertainment, a lot of nice scenery, great time to get real good party, and right up. So at the boogie, you know where Perv Row is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's usually at these facilities that they have these rallies at, there's like a big loop that you can ride your motorcycles around, and then like up there, close to where like the vendors are, the main stage, like all the big to-dos is up front, and they call that Perv Row because that's where everybody kind of congregates and does the tomfoolery and all that jazz. Well, the Angels, they had literally their own little compound set up adjacent to the main stage, and it was like snow fence, but then they had like a double-decker snow fence, so it was about 8 feet tall, probably, or more. And then they had like a it was like a privacy snow fence to where like you couldn't see in it. But then they had like a booth set up at the front where like they had 3 or 4 prospects like working the table,
Like working what aspect of it?
recruiting, more or less. And I went up there. Completely
So you rolled the dice.
into the weeds at that point. Not the weed, but like into the beers. Like I was drunker than skunk. And I walked up and I said, can I buy a t-shirt? You guys got any t-shirts for sale that say Hell's Angels on them? And of course, at that point, I was reminded very quickly that if you want anything that says Hell's Angels on it, you got to wear the brand. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay, you, I'm out of here, kind of, oh. But they had a very intense knife fight breakout like that night involving like air evac and like all kinds of shit. So you think of Hell's Angels, you don't think of Southern Indiana and Northern Kentucky by any means.
Oh, they're all around.
But like they're here.
There is a chapter in Northern Kentucky.
Is there right? Well, yeah, there
Like
again.
Northwestern Kentucky.
Right. So like me being the naive kid from Holland, Indiana, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't know that there was that big of a presence.
I think Google would say that the Outlaws are big in Indiana.
I know the
They're in
Outlaws,
Indianapolis.
the Sons of Silence.
Yeah, Booze Fighters.
Fifth
the
Column.
Clubhouse in.
There's a Fifth
I
Column.
don't know if they're considered. I don't want to get into those. I don't think they're as big of a club as they once were around here. But Booze Fighters had a clubhouse up in.
So there's a pretty predominant club that used to be around Davies County up in there back in the day. And there again, no beef, no ill will, no disrespect. I don't know anything about them. I just remember hearing them up into Greene County and stuff. But it's called the Fifth Column. And one of my best friends had an ex-father-in-law that passed away that may have had some ties with some of those guys, and we went to the funeral in Linton, Indiana, and there was a lot of colors being worn at that particular
because it kind of seems like you have your main like national, like your Hell's Angels,
right.
your Mongols, your Outlaws, like not excluding anybody. Not well versed on it. But then, like, those smaller, like, local affiliate chapters, I guess, is what some of them are to where that makes that work. But, so Sturgis always intrigues me. But it got me thinking about bucket list items. Like, something, like, things that you would want to do before you kick the bucket. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but
that's how it works.
What would be on your guys' list?
And we've talked about this before a long time ago, but I don't really know. I want to go on a caribou hunt. Like, that's something that I've always really, really, really wanted to do. I want to go up to the Yukon during the Great Migration and smoke one of them great big-ass freaking caribous, bring it home and eat it, and then hang its head on my wall for the duration of my days. Like, I really want to do that. If I could lose about 250 pounds, I'd like to skydive. Because I'm definitely over the weight limit for any commercialized skydiving.
In the tandem tent, tandem
get
parachute.
one of them, what they drop them
tanks with,
one of them big bastards.
which I don't understand. If
Dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
the federal, like if our military can parachute a Jeep or a tank or other things, why can you? Like, why that
a 3-ton cache of supplies?
Yeah, but hey, you're over 215, can't skydive.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the plane.
Yeah, I think the planes they're using for skydiving are small doors, and then they got to make it worth their trip, so they want to put 8 people in there. And then your pilot and then your two helpers that are getting your happy ass out of the plane and telling you what to do.
And 95% of the time when you go to those commercialized skydiving deals, it's all static line and tandem, which is fine. Like, I'm not ready to jump out of an airplane by myself.
Could you imagine you show up, place advertises they'll do big fella parachuting.
They strap a little saddle on.
Ride
I
you
get
down
some,
the
like-
sky like Seabiscuit.
I get some like 185-pound little Asian dude. Like, okay, you ready to go? You know what I mean? Like that would be my luck. Yeah, he's like, he's wearing
Hey, easy, pal, and pull the ears. My God.
wearing me like a glove. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Like, so there's another TikTok channel that I follow. I don't follow it, but it'll pop up every now and then. But it's called like I think it's called Base Jump Moab or something.
Kiss my ass.
But it's out there in Moab, and they it's just a very like communal rock face that a lot of folks will base jump off of, and it's the guy is like super encouraging and like where's your head at, like what are your emotions, what are you feeling right now, are you ready to do this, are you ready to face your fears and shit like that. And I do think that would be like the ultimate, just to overcome anything that you had to deal with at that point at your life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I just think something like super adrenaline based, what do you call that? Like extreme sport, or like something that is 100% out of your comfort zone that could go tragically wrong in a millisecond. Like, I think that would be really wild.
The only way I would skydive or do anything, bungee jump or do any of that stuff, is if I was on the Amazing Race and I was racing for $1 million and Janelle looked at me and said, "You have to do it." Then I would, but that wouldn't be on my bucket list.
My bucket list has changed. I think I just want to go.
Well, because you're closer to the end.
Yeah, I think I want to go spend a winter like
in Alaska.
somewhere in the middle of Canada where nobody's ever been. Just get dropped off there with like a pocket knife and a rope and probably die. But
A rope.
you
Why do you need no rope?
come back and get me. Next winter. I'll see you in a year.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And just
Is that it? Like, is that the one?
Do it?
Like one big thing?
I'd either do it or die, and that'd be a good place any to die.
Yeah. Just a man and his thoughts.
Now, like if you knew like the end was near up there, would you like stage it where you were like jerking it on the bed or something like that? They find you like your pants down around your ankles.
Write a note in like some foreign cursive, like that you were ass raped by Sasquatch or some shit. Like, I knew it was real the whole time. He was here.
I'd probably just go die on top of some cliff.
Now, Alexander Supertramp, he ate the wrong roots, and he starved to
Alexander Supertramp.
death. Yeah. You ever
Who's
seen
that?
the movie Into the Wild?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I can't remember what that guy's
think-
actual name was.
I think like my
Changed
bucket
his
list,
name.
like I got some small stuff, like all 50 states. Like I think that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
All major league ballparks. Like I love baseball. Like,
There's
I think
a
that'd be cool.
family here in
wants to
town
do
that's
that.
doing that.
I would like to drive from the East Coast, like the furthest East Coast to the furthest like West Coast point. Like start like somewhere over Maine,
Seattle to Maine or
and
something.
like wherever it would be, make that trip. I think like some of those things, but also like for an international travel perspective, I would love to. My grandpa was in the 4th Armored in WW2.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a map that I've seen of where the 4th Armored, my grandpa was basically D-Day all the way to VE Day. And I would love to trace that. Like, I think that would be cool.
I've talked about that too. Yeah, that would be really
I'd
neat.
like to check out some old Viking area and then visit Ireland maybe and just drink whiskey for 3 or 4 days with folks. And
I think that would be, it'd be like those life experience, because that's what like the Sturgis Rally, like happily married man. Am I going to head into the Buffalo Chip Saloon and just go hog wild? No.
It's just something.
Want to
see.
ride out there, experience seeing the country. I realistically would probably be there for a day and be like, anxiety's on a high alert. Like that's a, like a tinderbox we're waiting to just blow up, because you never know who's
Yeah, I
feuding and
feel
who's
like-
not feuding.
trying to think about you. Like I feel like
I don't think.
I think
Casey
there's.
might be.
I think there's.
No backs to the door, like camping in a tent at the boogie, and then just horse shittery all night long around the clock, 24 hours a day. I feel like that'd get Casey's nerves going.
I would listen. Casey's nerves come from a long line of training from Papa Frank, where it's be aware of your settings, your surroundings, who's around you, and I just think like those guys with the twin brotherhood outlaws. Like, first off, you're running your mouth against the Hells Angels. Now, a lot of those organizations do a lot of charitable work on different things, but there's also, they've been investigated by alphabet soup entities for a long time. You can go look up ATF, all those things.
Yep.
So there's a part of that where, it would make me so uncomfortable. I'd drive down Main Street just trying to stay up on two wheels, and then, all right, well, that was fun. Let's come on back around. I couldn't stay because it wouldn't, but I think it'd just be cool.
I think it's so commercialized out there now that you wouldn't.
I don't believe that for one bit.
I do.
I know we don't disagree about much.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest bike rally in the country.
Yeah, but those guys don't give a shit because you know what? If their name's in the news, that these it was that is good. There's no such thing as bad.
Yeah,
press.
but like how often do you read or hear about that?
Because a lot of them are on good behavior, but if there's enough there for something to occur, something will occur.
I don't know. That's just
That
my
Grateful Dead concert in the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s. 2025 Sturgis is 100% different than 1975 Sturgis.
A lot of those like motorcycle clubs, the historical significance about them, about how they were created and started, is amazing. By the way, because a lot of those guys were World War II vets, and instead of joining the VFW, Vietnam. A lot of them, because it was early '60s, late '60s, that they came back and they were looking for that commonality, and then that's how it all happened.
Rush and camaraderie.
Yeah, but I don't know. That bucket list thing.
Yeah, I get it, man. I have a mental bucket list. Like I don't.
Do you think it's psychopath behavior to have a bucket list written down?
No.
No.
Would you write one down? I guess
I'm like
that
a fart in a whirlwind. I changed so much. I'd have there'd be a lot of revisions of the bucket list.
Yeah, like when I listen to this next week when it comes out, I'm thinking, your fat ass ain't going skydiving, you dumb bastard.
Great content.
You might be.
Oh, by the way, a friend of the program sent me a text message after listening to the episode. He knows who he is, and he goes, do you really think you four in the heat of August sitting out there squirrel hunting really would make good content?
Oh, my God.
And I was like, yeah, you probably got a point. You got a point, but...
Very glistening, I would imagine.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a whole lot of squirrels. We just might as well drag the cooler in there with us and do an episode.
We could go to my house and sit in the lake and do it.
We don't
I
need
want
to
to
sit
get
in
my
the
gun
lake.
wet.
Oh, you don't get your gun wet. You don't get your gun wet when you duck hunt and you sit in the lake.
Never been duck hunting.
No.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick pause. We'll be right back.